Taylor Sheridan may be about to pull off a major actor's character death after failing with Kevin Costner in Yellowstone. Taylor Sheridan has a chance to do what he couldn't do with Kevin Costner's John Dutton in Yellowstone: kill off a major character in a satisfying way. The series finale of Yellowstone wasn't what most longtime fans of the show were expecting, and it's largely because Kevin Costner left Yellowstone before its ending. Costner was experiencing creative differences with Taylor Sheridan, so his character, John Dutton, had to be written off the show. Unfortunately, that didn't leave Sheridan with many options, and John's ending in Yellowstone didn't feel adequate for such an important character. Both Taylor Sheridan and Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 were somewhat trapped by Kevin Costner's departure from the series. After Costner left Yellowstone in the middle of Season 5, Sheridan had to find a way to dance around his absence in the show's final episodes. There was really no satisfying way to do that, as John was the biggest part of the cast of Yellowstone, but what ended up happening was still disappointing. Luckily, Sheridan got another chance to write a major character's death in a different show, and it's shaping up to be much better than Yellowstone. John Dutton's death in Yellowstone Season 5 wasn't the best possible way the show could have bid farewell to its main character. It was probably the best way to handle it without Kevin Costner's involvement, but it was still lacking for the character himself. After years of development and build-up and years of Yellowstone following John fighting tooth and nail to save his ranch and protect his family, he died rather easily. A group of assassins simply broke into his house and killed him while he slept. It wasn't the warrior's death fans were hoping for, and it wasn't fitting for John to go out so meekly. Part of the reason John's death was so underwhelming is because of how sudden it all felt. Because of Costner's departure, Yellowstone had to abruptly end John's story without much setup. At the start of Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2, John was simply already dead, and the show backtracked to explain how it happened. Aside from Jamie, Wes Bentley, asking Sarah Atwood, Don Olivieri about professionals, Yellowstone didn't have any build-up to John's death. He also didn't get much resolution because of how quickly he died, and the whole situation just felt messy. Taylor Sheridan now has the chance to do a major character's death right in Landman. At the end of Landman Episode 9, Monty Miller, John Hamm, seemingly dies from complications with his heart health. While there's a chance he survived, it seems much more likely that Monty is dead or dying in Landman. If Monty did die, then Landman already handled a major character's death better than Yellowstone handled John's death. While most of that is due to the fact that Sheridan was able to plan the season around Hamm's involvement, which he couldn't with Costner, Landman also earned Monty's death. Throughout Landman Season 1, Monty's heart health has been a major concern. From the very beginning, Cammie, Demi Moore, has been hounding him about the stress related to his job as the CEO of MTEX and begging him to worry about his personal health. That set up a major heart problem for Monty later in the season, which Landman Episode 8 delivered on. Then, Landman Episode 9 actually let the moment where Monty potentially died breathe. Landman created a situation where even the death of a major star's character felt natural and earned, which is what Yellowstone should have done with John. The way Landman is handling Monty's death is a sign of why it's probably Taylor Sheridan's best chance at a replacement for Yellowstone. Out of all of Taylor Sheridan's shows, Landman has the most justification to become a franchise and spawn spin-offs like Yellowstone did. Landman has a star-studded cast, plenty of interesting characters, like Cooper, Jacob Loveland, or Rebecca, Kayla Wallace, and a subject that could easily be the focus of multiple seasons of television. It's incredibly easy to imagine Tommy's, Billy Bob Thornton, work in the oil industry to turn into a sprawling saga like John's work in the ranching industry. Sheridan also has one major benefit with Landman that he didn't with Yellowstone: experience. Sheridan has always been a great writer, ever since he created Sicario, but he now has over half a decade of experience writing for television. He knows how to manage characters across multiple seasons. His name carries enough weight to get stars on board and keep them in the cast, and Landman just proved he knows how to write a fitting ending when one is needed. If anything is going to replace Yellowstone, it might be no stranger to creating television moments that not only break the mold, but also redefine the stakes in storytelling. As the mastermind behind Yellowstone and its sprawling universe, Sheridan's recent decision to part ways with Kevin Costner has led many to wonder whether the writer-director is about to take another major risk by orchestrating an iconic character's death. With Yellowstone's future uncertain and the departure of its leading star, Sheridan may very well be gearing up to do something bold, something even more impactful than his failed partnership with Costner. For Sheridan, known for crafting complex, morally ambiguous characters in a world brimming with violence, deception, and power struggles, the death of a character isn't just about shock value. It's a carefully planned narrative choice that serves to advance the story and shake up the status quo. In Yellowstone, the death of a beloved character is a reality that has long hovered over the Dutton family, with various characters facing mortal danger at every turn. But what if Sheridan is about to pull off a character death that is even more devastating, more impactful, and more unexpected than any of his previous work? The failure of Kevin Costner to remain committed to Yellowstone left a huge gap in the show. As John Dutton, Costner was the heart of the series, and his departure left the show in turmoil. The behind-the-scenes drama between the actor and Sheridan became public knowledge, and as both sides tried to maintain their hold on the show's direction, it became increasingly clear that the once iconic partnership was fraying. With Yellowstone at a crossroads, Sheridan must now find a way to re-establish his dominance in the world of television. The big question: how does he do this? Some might say that the best way to breathe new life into a franchise is by shocking the audience, by making a bold choice that will leave everyone talking. And what better way to do this than by introducing the death of another key player in the Yellowstone world? If Sheridan could kill off one of the show's major characters, it would send shockwaves through the fan base and signal that he's still in control of the show's destiny. While many speculate that Sheridan could kill off a central Dutton family member, the real twist may lie in his choice of who that character is. With Costner's exit being so public, it's easy to think that Sheridan would want to create an emotional finale for John Dutton. However, that's not Sheridan's style. He's not known for playing things safe, and it's clear that he thrives on pushing boundaries. What if Sheridan is thinking even further outside the box? Could he pull a Game of Thrones style curveball and kill off a character that no one saw coming? Perhaps one that has spent years being built up only to be cut down in the prime of their storyline. Think about someone like Rip Wheeler, the rough-around-the-edges cowboy with a heart of gold, whose relationship with Beth Dutton has been a driving force behind much of the show's emotional weight. If Sheridan were to kill Rip off, it would not only devastate Beth, but would also have a ripple effect on the entire ranching community. Rip's death would be both poetic and tragic. His loyalty and unwavering dedication to the Dutton family would be his undoing. But Sheridan might see this as the perfect opportunity to upend the entire narrative. Just as Yellowstone's universe is about to lose its patriarch in John Dutton, it could also lose its moral center with Rip's death. This would leave Beth in an even more vulnerable state, perhaps even driving her further into a state of desperation, or making her a more dangerous character than she's ever been before. The emotional toll this would take on the Dutton family would be immense, leaving viewers grappling with grief, anger, and fear for what's to come next. Alternatively, Sheridan could choose to kill off someone who feels more like an underdog character. What if someone like Jamie Dutton, the morally conflicted, deeply complicated son of John, was the one to meet his untimely demise? Jamie's role in the series has always been a tricky one. He's been torn between loyalty to his family and his own ambition. As the black sheep of the Duttons, his character arc has been one of internal struggle, often making him an unpredictable force. Killing Jamie off would not only create chaos within the Dutton family, but could also open up the narrative to explore new alliances and rivalries. His death would signal that even the most unpredictable characters aren't safe in this world.